I had absolutely no relationship with Jesus whatsoever. I mean, I knew he existed. I knew there was a God. I knew what there was to know. I had all the hidden knowledge, if I can put it that way, but no relationship with God at all. I had a bit of a rough patch with Jesus a few years before, and I just thought, nah, I'm not a big fan of this guy. And there was no relationship with him. I grew up in a Christian home with a Christian mother who did everything that you would expect a perfect Christian to do. She would go to church, Christmas, Easter, Good Friday, every service she's there. During the week she's there. There was a fast and prayer, she was there. And I started going to all these things as well because that is all we knew. Sunday morning you woke up with your mother, you would go to church. There was no argument, nothing. And when you do this out of habit, it becomes a lifestyle, and you subconsciously just start doing things you don't even know why you're doing it. All the things that would be said, all the things that would be done would just become this hidden knowledge, but I never felt anything. The God that I was sort of introduced to, the God that I got to know, was this God that wanted me to be good, to be perfect, and I would do all these things and hopefully get something in return, One of the things that I struggled a lot with was the relationship with my father growing up. And I just thought it was so unfair that this God who wanted me to do all these perfect things would have me do all these perfect things, and he couldn't bless me with something as simple as a present father who was loving. And when I started asking and questioning, the people around me that could have helped me in terms of faith were not the most helpful. It was more of a just believe, don't question, don't doubt, making me feel as if I was being such a bad person for questioning and doubting. And I remember specifically telling my mom, if this God of yours that you serve just wants me to go to church and is so insecure that he doesn't want to be questioned, then I really want nothing to do with him at all. So I got to university, and it felt like another tick off the list thing for me. Well, how hard is it to be in a church and just go on Sundays? Like, it was not that hard because it's something that I've done before. When I got into the church at first, everything in me was like, no, these people don't look like me. The church looks nothing like the churches I grew up in. The worship was slow, and there was just a lot of things that was just like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. But in the first service, they were advertising Alpha, and everyone around me, like the people that I met, during welcoming, and the person that I came with was like, oh, this will be nice, you should do it. And they referred to it as this introduction course to non-Christians that just sort of introduces them to Christianity. And I just assumed there would be a bunch of Christians doing Christian things. But I loved the space, the asking questions. I think there was a safe space that was created that I eventually felt like, oh, I could actually ask questions. And somehow I asked the same questions that I was asking a few years ago with less anger and frustration. And I realized that I never had a relationship with Christ initially, and that's the thing that was missing the most. That's the thing that made me feel so lonely and so empty most of the time. And that's one of the things that really just stood out for me in the sessions that I was going to, was just this, oh, Jesus is a friend and a father, and is compassionate, and it's not just this distant cosmic being that just wants us to be doing things and we just have to obey and expect something from him in return. But he's intimate, and he's relational, and he's friendly, and he's present, and his Holy Spirit is there and available for us to experience all of these things that we sometimes fail to see in the people around us. I think Alpha provided me an opportunity to see what faith looks like beyond what it was presented to me growing up. And so I got the opportunity to see that in others, but also build relationship with people who are able to help me grow in faith myself, and also help me cultivate a relationship with God that is a relationship where I see God for who he is, and I get to see myself in light of that.